A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Once again, it is finally that time of the week again for our regular Tuesday GIM session. Previously, iBlooming helped everyone do a comprehensive personality analysis report with iMatrix. I wonder if you all have had the chance to do it yet. So, let us take a moment to look at this together right now. Can you see on our screen? You will notice that there is a QR code displayed right there. You can see it right there on the screen, can't you? If there are any ladies and gentlemen who have just joined us and haven't had the chance to take the free test yet, then please do not hesitate or wait even one more second. Go ahead and take a moment to scan and capture our official QR code right now. Once you enter the system, you can complete a full and free personality analysis report. Through this detailed report, we can find out which specific and unique personality traits and characteristics we belong to. Which personal energy companion iBommie are you, and which one do you belong to? Let's quickly find our own iBommie, okay? Alright, without further delay, I'm Ivan from Hong Kong. My surname is Tsui. Today, I'll be spending about an hour with everyone to share some insights about children and personality traits. Alright, before I actually begin today, let me take a moment to share a little bit about my own personal background and experience. Within the global world of scouting, I have been deeply involved in this movement for well over 20 years now. And during that time, I have gained a significant amount of practical experience in both training and leadership development. The various types of people that I deal with on a daily basis are mostly kids, and these kids are divided into different age groups. So, does everyone know some of the history of the World Scouts? Let me briefly talk about it with you. The World Scout movement has actually been around for over 119 years now, which is quite significant, right? In over 130 countries, there is a Scout movement. So what do they do within it? Of course, we have the Scout Promise and some of our rules as well. We can briefly talk about the Scout Promise. It says that you will do your best to do your duty to God and to your country, to help other people, and to keep the Scout law. So, from a young age, children are taught to develop a sense of caring for others, self-love, responsibility, and discipline so that they can become responsible and disciplined citizens. We call this self-discipline and respecting others by being a good person. So how do we actually do this? We also have something called the Scout Law. It says, a Scout is to be trusted. A Scout is loyal. A Scout is friendly and considerate. A Scout belongs to worldwide family of Scout. A Scout has courage in all difficulties. A Scout make good uses of time and is careful of possession and property. A Scout has self-respect and respect for others. Each of these rules applies to us adults as well. Parents might think, wow, it would be great if our children could actually do this, right? That would make us so happy. But is it really possible to achieve this? Or is it enough just to shout slogans? Alright, so looking back, I want to share some simple memories from my time in the Scouts movement. I am an assistant troop leader in a Scout troop in Hong Kong. As you can see in the photo, that's me in my uniform, and that picture was taken more than 10 or even 20 years ago. I've been serving as a volunteer there for over 20 years. When I look at this, I think, wow, Scouts is really something special. There are so many different kids, from just a few years old up to people in their 20s. Both our older and younger members grow together and learn from each other. There's really a lot to learn, isn't there? Let's take a look. To put it simply, let me tell everyone, what are the differences? It turns out that besides their personality traits, children at different ages have different needs, so you need to pay attention to this. We divide them into what we call grasshopper scouts, or sometimes little scouts, which are ages 4 to 7. Then, after grasshopper scouts, we have cub scouts, which are ages 6 to 11. Scouts are from 11 to 15 years old. We call the next group venture scouts, which are 15 to 20 years old, and rover scouts, which are 18 to 25 years old. Why do we have these divisions? It turns out that at each age, children need different developmental steps. Even our teaching materials, or rather the methods we use to communicate with different children, require different skills and approaches. So today, let me talk a little bit about this. we'll focus on the ages 4 to 7, which is what we call the grasshopper scout stage. Their attention span is actually quite short, usually just about 10 to 15 minutes. So most of the time, we need to use games to guide them, helping them learn things like how to follow rules, take turns, line up, or respect others. Our main approach is peer learning, using play and games to help them become less afraid of strangers and to learn how to interact with others. This is mainly about teaching them how to interact with others. These are some of the key aspects of being a grasshopper scout. Now, moving on to ages 6 to 11, maybe the children around you are in this age group. So let me ask, are there any parents of children aged 6 to 11 here today? If so, please type 1 in the chat or on the screen. Yes, so please type 1. Are there any parents of children aged 6 to 11? As we mentioned, from 6 to 11 years old, children start to go through significant changes. They begin to really want to express themselves. Do you see me? Do you notice me? The less attention you pay to them, the more they want to show off. At this stage, they especially want to stand out and be seen by others. So, during this period, we use something called the patrol system. Typically, a patrol consists of 7 members, including a patrol leader, an assistant patrol leader, and other members. The patrol is formed so that we can rotate small responsibilities among them, allowing them to learn and take on tasks within their peer group. We give them small assignments because they are between 6 and 11 years old. Their tasks are generally simple, with small visible goals that allow them to see their progress. The hope is that through this, the children can build self-confidence. Every time they achieve one of these small goals, they experience a sense of success. Alright, but when it comes to ages 11 to 15, things are different. Are there any parents here with children aged 11 to 15? If so, type the number 2 for me. Yes, type the number 2 on the screen. At this age, we start to see, whether boys or girls, the beginning of what we call the rebellious phase. They start to resist, what we call rebelling against adults. They start to care about their own pride, so you can't treat them like they're just little kids anymore. At this stage, when you give them direct orders, they might not necessarily listen to you. So, what should we do to guide them? We should give them some goals and let them take initiative and show their abilities in small groups. So why do we use small groups? We hope that children can not only become leaders, for example, as a team leader, but at the same time, they are also team members. This way, we hope they can understand that by switching roles, they can be both a follower and a leader. In the future, whether in society or when interacting with others, they will understand this as well. Whether as a leader or as a follower, they will learn the different approaches and responsibilities of each role. They will also learn how to be tolerant and considerate and understand the importance of teamwork. This is very important. As leaders ourselves, should we just assign them a task and set a goal, then let them develop on their own? The most important thing is to always keep an eye on their safety. And also their academic performance is very important during this period. They shouldn't just focus on playing all the time. Besides that, what about their rest time? Because between the ages of 11 and 15, they often don't know how to manage their time. Many times you'll notice that when they're on the phone with classmates, they just keep talking non-stop, right? Even at night, they'll secretly be under the covers, still chatting away, right? On WhatsApp, isn't it? Okay, so why does this happen? It's because they haven't yet learned how to prioritize and manage their own schedules and rest time. So, during this period, we gradually start to guide them on how to develop some personal discipline. Alright then, from ages 15 to 20, which we call the real adolescence, things become simpler. We just give them the opportunity to take charge themselves. After we've set some goals, then we need to maintain a baseline of safety. At this stage, what they need most at this age is what we call honest communication and trust. You give them responsibility and they are able to take it on. At this time, they start to have their own opinions and know how to organize activities, right? So, as parents, we should be there at their back, like a friend. We just provide some resources, or in what we call a safe environment, we give them some suggestions. but we also can't interfere too much and disrupt their plans. This way, a teenager during this period can learn through experience how to face difficulties. And in the process, they will also experience both success and failure. So when they face failure, between the ages of 15 and 20, have you noticed that they often can't accept failure very well, right? Whenever they fail or encounter setbacks, they become very discouraged, and sometimes they even try to avoid it altogether. Some young people, because they can't accept a momentary failure, might even do something foolish. That's why at this age, we need to help them build a solid foundation in their mind so they can understand this. They need to understand that victory and defeat are common occurrences in life. There will be successes, but there will also be failures. Life isn't always about winning. So when we encounter difficulties, how can we avoid giving up? How can we persevere? And how can we correct our own problems and reflect on our mistakes? These things are especially important at this age because they're starting to develop the ability to reflect on themselves. Isn't that right? All right, so let's talk about this. All right, everyone, let's summarize. At different ages, for example, when we're talking about Cub Scouts or younger Scouts, when they're still little and young, we guide them as adults, using games and short activities to help them learn. We call this peer learning. All right, when they reach primary school age, we have some small groups or some visual aids as well as visible progress markers so that they can experience a sense of achievement. This way, they can develop an interest in learning on their own.